Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm rolling out virtual peace and purpose retreat powered by none other than McDonald's, the world famous brand that everybody loves and knows. You are joining myself today, Andre Hill, and my fellow McDonald's owner operator comrade, John Salls, and we'll be talking business or balancing family and business as an owner operator on today's Business Exchange. John, welcome to Rolling Out. Welcome to the virtual retreat. We are so happy to have you here. And it's cool because you are, like myself, a newer operator, a second gen operator, and you're here to make history, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you. If you could
Thank you
just
for
give us a
having
brief
me.
intro. Oh, yeah, no problem. If you could just give us a brief introduction on yourself.
Well, everybody, how you doing? It's a pleasure to be here and to speaking with you. My name is John Salls. I'm a next generation McDonald's owner operator out of Louisville, Kentucky. I currently have one store in my organization, and I help supervise and overlook my mother's organization, which has 7 stores. And we're very proud of all the things that we do here in the community and that we do for people and how we can help build. So that's a little bit about myself. I'm a graduate and ketchup is in my veins. I was born into McDonald's. It's been all I know, and I'm trying to master it.
Nice, man. Like you said, it's all about the community and those that we serve in the community. So let's get into this. But somebody with your know-how, with your understanding of McDonald's, I know that you were basically born into this thing. Did you always want to do this coming up?
If we're going to be 100% honest, I absolutely did not. My childhood, I grew up in the play place. We have a restaurant with the play place, so every day mom went to work, I had to tag along. So and she worked hard, so I'm spending 8 hours, 10 hours a day in the restaurant, putting together Happy Meal boxes. So by the time I could work, I really didn't want anything to do with McDonald's because I didn't realize how much McDonald's had done for me until later in my life. So by the time I was working age, I went and got a job at a shoe store because I always liked to talk to people and be very personable. Uh, so that was the route I took. But after graduating from school and looking around at the job market and what was available for me, I realized that working in the family business would be in my best interest. And it's been one of the best decisions I've made thus far because like you said, there's no other brand in the world like McDonald's. It's America's best first job, and you can really build a career here from crew all the way up to whatever it is you want to be.
So what was it about McDonald's that finally led you back into working under the arches?
Uh, I think I'd have to say the people. I think McDonald's is such a dynamic brand that there's so many different types of people and everybody from all walks of life that you can literally learn so much. People speaking 4 and 5 different languages in the kitchen. So it's the amount of knowledge that you can get from the people you work with, and the feeling of joy seeing them actually enjoy their work and enjoy working with you and for you and just doing the right things. And McDonald's it's the number one brand in the world. Who wouldn't want to work for McDonald's? So once I got my degree and wisened up, I realized where I needed to be at.
Hmm. That's so true, man. I've worked at a few different places, even spent roughly 7 years in corporate America before I decided to come into business with my mom. Unlike you, my path was a little different because I wasn't born into this. My mother worked in corporate America for many, many years, but me and her always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And it's so crazy when I left corporate, you know, I didn't realize like how entrenched in corporate America I was. I couldn't even. I was in people. I was actually in HR for quite some time in corporate, but it was so hard at first for me to understand or for me to reach my people in the store level when I was working there, just because of how entrenched I was in the normalcies of corporate America. And McDonald's literally, every store is like a melting pot of America. And so it was, once I kind of realigned myself into understanding how to touch my people, things began to get a lot better for me, get a lot easier for me. I began to experience a lot more growth internally in our business. And, I can't imagine myself doing anything else at this point in time in my life. So, tell us what balancing family and business in a 24/7 business enterprise means to you.
It means a lot because your business takes care of your family, but your family takes care of you. So you have to find that balance. I have three small children, and they need my time. They need my attention. They need me to pour into them. And then I've got stores filled with employees who need the same thing. So you got your family and your mech family, and I think the balance comes in is just recognizing everybody's needs. It's really learning people and learning what they need and just being there for them when they need you. And I think if you can do that for your people and for your family, they'll have a lot of respect for you. And then they'll respect when you have to put that boundary up, like, today is my day where I'm going to be immersed with my family. Try not to bother me if it's not critical, if the building is on fire. And then you want your family to understand the same thing. Today I have a lot of meetings to take care of. I've got a lot of people to talk to and meet. I appreciate it if we could keep things civil until another day. So, it's not always going to be easy. Balancing anything is never going to be easy. It's a skill that I think you have to continue to work at no matter what level you're at. Because I see older operators, I see younger operators, and they have, different things that they deal with, but everybody is still trying to figure out how to balance life and how to balance family and how to take care of their family. So for me, my number one thing is if I'm not taking care of business, my family can't eat. So, I try to take care of business in the restaurants and then come home and make sure my family is straight. So it's essential that you are able to balance, because there's been times where my family feels like you're at McDonald's too long, but they don't understand that they can't see the process of what you're actually trying to build. So, I think the most part of balancing is the clear communication. Everybody needs to understand and be on the same page and understand what the goal is. And, if we can all understand the goal, it's going to make it easier for everybody to reach theirs. So that's how I try to balance it myself. What are some things that work well for you?
Man, before I ever answer, you need to repeat that statement that you made initially after I asked this question
What's that?
about how the family is there for you. A lot of times you're there for the business or the businesses. Say, repeat that statement because that was just crucial.
I don't know if you're talking about the one where I said you got to take care of the business so the business can take care of the family, and you got to take care of your family because your family takes care of you.
Man, that's so
So
real. That's so real.
Yeah,
It's
I like to keep in
that,
contact with all my family, cousins,
yeah.
uncles, aunts, grandmas. I want to speak to everybody, even if it's just to see how you're doing or how you're feeling today. Just so somebody cares about you. Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants a good group of people around them that care about their best interests and what they need. So the best way to do that is being a genuine person and pouring into people.
It's that full circle approach. How do I allow this business to provide for my family? And how do I ensure that my family knows that they are top priority? However, this business is what allows our family to prosper.
Exactly.
You know, that's the dynamic that we all have to achieve in order to have the optimum amount of success, because it is a family. It's a family thing.
Hmm.
You know, uh, and just and what people don't understand is McDonald operators, we literally operate a small business. There, it's cash. It's we measure things by the penny because we have to, or by the dollar, or what have you, because we have to. And even some of our staff members are family. So there's things that we do as owner operators, especially those who have stores in underdeveloped neighborhoods or what you will call the inner city or what have you. We do things for a lot of our staff that you wouldn't typically find at a Fortune 500 company.
Hmm.
We've paid for people's children's funerals. We've paid for people's dental work because their insurance didn't cover certain aspects of some dental work that was needed. There's things that we do. I can go on and on, but there's things that we do
We
that
don't often speak
literally,
about those things, though,
yeah,
you
we
know,
don't often
because
speak of, especially African
listen,
American
yeah,
owner operators who do have the majority of those stores within these neighborhoods that I'm talking about, and have to be there in order to help elevate and to help do things for people who just don't have the family to assist them, or to have the means to assist them to do those things.
I agree 100%. You know, I can think of countless times where, you know, people don't think there's no way. And then they reach out to my mother. You know, I've only been an operator for about 8 months now. So I haven't had the chance to personally, you know, bless anyone like that. But I know from experience that, you know, my mother will take care of somebody and humbly do it. And you'll never even know about it, you know.
And
And
trust me, man,
you can't put a price on.
hey, trust me, those black teenagers that work for you, every time they see you come in that building and they see that a black person can do what you do, lead an organization, $1 million empire, and do it successfully, you're doing a lot more. You're creating a lot more blessings than what you think.
I appreciate that, bro, because
That's that's
honestly,
that's
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 how
real
I got my
intrinsic
spark.
value.
That's how I got my spark, is seeing somebody else do it. I said, well, I know it's possible, you know, and I
Yeah,
think we need more of that. People need to see that this is achievable, this is attainable, and these are the steps you need to take, and this is how you need to conduct yourself if you want to be amongst this group.
exactly, exactly. So, what have you learned about yourself as you've navigated these challenges?
That's a good question, man. I've learned a lot about myself over the years. I've learned that I'm impatient, and maybe I need to practice patience a little more, not only at work but with my family.
It
Uh,
depends how many times you ask somebody to do something. Let's
well, that's true, but
let's
with
preface it with that.
kids, you got to ask them 100 times, and you know, and then you got to put hands on them if that's what you're into. But what I learned about myself is,
He's talking
you
about
know,
penny pay hands, y'all. He ain't talking about
yeah, I'm just a little
the,
tap, a little love tap. Uh, what I learned about myself is I have way more potential than I thought I had. You know, you start out in a position when you're going through the program and you have to, you know, jump through each and every hoop. And then you finally get to the finish line and you're like, well, what's next? What do I do now? So what I learned about myself is, you know, I do have a lot more power and influence than I think I have. And I need to, you know, make sure I'm putting that in the right light. And more people are watching me than I think. So I need to be careful, you know, with the things that I do. And I just learned that McDonald's is for me. I never thought I was, you know, be in that position because I used McDonald's all the time for dinner. I used to always be at McDonald's. I was sick of McDonald's, but I realized that McDonald's is the reason that I was able to have the opportunities that I had. You know, it's the reason I was able to go to college. It's the reason I was able to, you know, find a good job. It's the reason that I know so many people in my city through the network of our restaurants. So I just have to applaud McDonald's for teaching me, you know, what it is to be a business person, because it can simply teach you business. You know, that's what I want all my managers and crew to understand. And you know, this isn't just a job. This is a place for you to come and learn, and everybody should be learning every day. So that's one thing I try to do, is learn something new every day, and if I can, teach something to somebody, and hopefully that'll stick with them. So I think that's
yes,
probably the
sir.
biggest change is transitioning from uh, you know, just learning to being the coach, and starting to
Mm,
tell people what to look for and what to
mm.
recognize and how to react. So I think that's my biggest adjustment that I'm making now.
Hmm. That's real. Yeah, you talked about that patience thing, man. That's something I definitely had to acquire that I thought I had until I actually came into McDonald's myself and realized how short of patience I actually was. So patience, learning how to create more patience has really humbled me. It's allowed me to get stronger as a leader. Having patience has allowed me the understanding of why it's beneficial to gather your thoughts before you say things to people, so you don't say the wrong thing or send the wrong message, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so I think that's one of the biggest things I learned about myself, is how impatient I was, and how patience can literally ruin an empire
Yeah.
if you don't get it in check.
And
You,
I guess
you
another thing I learned, if I can cut back in, is being resilient. because there's going to be a lot of times that you hear no. And no doesn't always mean never. It just means not right now. And that's what people need to understand. You have to keep going. You have to keep trying. No is not the end of the road. That's just the end of the road, maybe with that person. You'll get a yes from someone else. So you have to stay persistent and stay dedicated to what you want. And that's the fastest way to get it, is if you believe that you're going to get it and that you're doing the things to get you there to get it. So, being resilient, because, when I first started out, people were telling me all types of things about McDonald's and what it would take to be an operator and how long it would take me and this and that. And I had my own plans up in my mind of what I wanted to do, and they didn't align. So, that's one thing I had to get over, and just stay resilient and stay dedicated to what I was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, that's so true. Have to be resilient. So how do you set career goals for yourself?
That's interesting. Goal setting for me used to be a lot easier because all my goals were tailored around becoming an operator. And so I was, doing this to get to there and doing this to get to there. But now uh, I look at the goals my mother sets. I look at the goals of people, mentors and people who influence me, their goals, and I compare them with what I want. But I'm trying to put my goals more around people. I'm trying to become more people focused. How many people can I help? How many people can I put in a position to win? How many people can I build up? That's where my goals are now. But from a professional standpoint, I'm looking to grow. All my goals have to be around growth, whether it's physical, mental, physical, or spiritual, or emotional. I need to grow. I need to grow in these areas. I just want to continuously learn. So whatever I can do, whether it be reading a book or listening to someone speak, or, just talking to a stranger, whatever it may be, I want to have that type of influence. Uh, and my goals now are around that.
Now, do you ever build goals for your family, or like the dynamics of family? And also, do you, and I'm sure you do, we all do, right? We have um, um, annual preparation meetings and all types of things, but talk about goals for your business as well, or goal setting for your business.
For my family, my main focus is I want my children to be able to speak well. I want them to be able to read well, and I want them to be able to write well, because that is the key. That's what my parents always told me. That's what my grandmother told me. Make sure you can read and write. And so for me right now, my children are young. They're 5 and 4. So my goal is to make sure you can count, you can write your numbers, you can recognize words, you can read, because that is the key. Reading is literally the key, and comprehension. So around family, I want us to be a tight knit family. I want us to eat dinners together. I want us to read and write. But everything doesn't always work the way you want it to work, whether it be family or business. You know, my business goals, they're all around growth. I want to increase my staff size. I want to increase the amount of transactions we're doing daily. I want to increase top line sales. But really, I want to be a better leader myself. So, my goals are always kind of selfish because they're tailored for me. How can I be better? And I feel like if I'm better, then I can be better for everybody else. And that in turn can lift them up. So I just try to set goals that I know are going to help people have something of value. If you're adding value, and you're going to get paid. You might not get paid right away. You might not get paid as much as you think you deserve. But if you're adding value to somebody's situation, they are definitely going to take notice. Because as a business owner and leader in my restaurant, if I see somebody adding value, I want to pour into them. I want to coach them. I want to train them up, because I know that this person is a leader and they have what it takes. And people are looking for that. They're judging you. This is as real as it gets. They're judging you as soon as they see you, based on what you're wearing, what you're doing, how you're speaking. So it's important the way you carry yourself in public settings, and the things you say. So I'm looking for people who are saying those words that make your brain go, oh yeah, that person gets it. I'm looking for that individual.
Hmm. No, that's so true, man. That's so true. Yeah, I think it's always important to challenge yourself, right? Sometimes we attain a goal and we just plateau, and then we feel like
Hmm.
we're just going with the motion. But if you continue to find ways to challenge yourself, you will always grow. And when it comes to family, I think more so than business, um, I'm trying to, uh, where I am now. So, like yourself, I have two kids. They both live a state away from me. They're in Michigan. I'm in Ohio. We're roughly 3.5 hours away from each other. But a goal of mine is to purchase a home in Michigan so that um, my kids have a place to play outside in the backyard.
Hmm.
My daughter can swing on the swing set. My son can play basketball, in the driveway, right,
Yeah,
or what have you. And so I think as you grow, um, you will always have more things that you can achieve, right? But what is important? What's going to bring more love? What's going to bring more ease? Um, what's going to bring more freedom to your life, right? And those are the things that I look at when setting goals. And so it's like even for my business, we want to be on a growth mode. We grew this year by an additional 5 stores, and it's like, okay, now we have to figure out how do we prep ourselves for even more growth. What type of staffing does that look like? um, what does that structure look like? How do we train the folks that we already have to enable them to be able to go into even higher leadership levels with ease once we do start acquiring even more locations? And so, again, constantly challenge yourself, constantly looking inwardly focusing on what's going to bring those things, like I said, um, which really come down to freedom, the opportunity of enhancing other people's lives, or love, or whatever you want to call it. Just a total evolution of family and self.
I agree. You have to set goals though. That's one thing that my mother drove into me is always have a goal and always have a plan. You know, And one thing
Mhm.
that she does that I need to start doing, she'll take a little note card and she'll have 5 little things on there that she wants to do every single day. 5 different things daily. And that's how you keep yourself focused. If you know what you're supposed to be accomplishing and you write it down, that's the other thing that's important. You have to write these things down. You can have goals in your head all day long. They're not real till you put them on paper. There's something about writing your goals down that helps them become achievable. So that's my word of advice to everyone is make a list and make sure you write it down. Even if it's just digitally in your phone or your iPad or whatever device you use, it needs to be visible where you can see it.
Mhm. Mhm. Talking about advice, let's go into this one. Can you give me 2 words of advice that you give to future entrepreneurs?
Don't give up in the first couple of years because those are going to be the hardest years. They're going to be the roughest ones where it feels like no one is supporting you, no one is helping you, no one sees your vision, and that's fine. They're not supposed to see your vision. It's your vision. So don't quit in the first couple of years. Whatever it is you're doing, don't give up. You know, try to wait it out if you can. Now, financial decision for your better well-being, then you need to do what you need to do. But if you can wait it out, definitely wait it out because entrepreneurship is not easy. And even when you get to the point you want to be at, I'm sure you can attest to this, Andre. There's phone calls that come in that are not good. There's problems, there's issues, there's things you have to handle. So my next word of advice would be, work on your mental health. Make sure you're an emotionally fit person to lead people. You know, because
Mhm.
people want to follow somebody who knows where they're going. If you have an issue and you're starting to panic and you don't know what to do, guess what? You're going to make your people panic, and that's going to be even worse. So to be a leader and to be an entrepreneur, you need to exemplify those characteristics that those people have. And
Wow.
I think that's critically important. So those would be my 2 pieces of advice. Don't give up in the early years because it gets greater later, and make sure you're a person people want to follow, and
Mhm.
sell yourself to people. You have to build your own personal brand. no matter who you partner with, you have to be a brand by yourself that people want to come and endorse and want them to represent them. That's just the way it works. You know, McDonald's is a large corporation, but they have a lot of franchisees, and those franchisees are known in their communities, and that is what makes people want to frequent that business because they know the people who are running the business. So, you know, be somebody that people can respect and appreciate.
Man, you're dropping some real nuggets, man. I appreciate it.
No
It's some
problem.
real keys. I hope people have their notes and pens out right now.
You silly, bro.
So you said one thing though, man. It really triggered me. You were talking about um, mental health, right? And that goes into emotional resilience, emotional intelligence. Can you talk about where emotional intelligence plays a role in your relationship with your team?
Most definitely. You know, you have to understand your people. If you're going to be a leader and you're going to have people up under you, the number one thing you need to do is understand them. I'm not necessarily saying you need to learn the love language, but you need to learn what's going to trigger them and what's going to make them feel special. Now, I'm a firm believer in manners and just saying please and thank you. I think that goes a very long way. But you know, you never want to address people when you're angry. You know, if something is making you angry, you want to take time to cool down and address it. So it sounds more like you're trying to fix the issue rather than beat up on the person. Now, I know I'm guilty of that. I'm sure some other people are because, you know, we want to see things and react right away. But a lot of times what you need to do is come in and assess the situation. So, for example, oh, the drive-through is not moving. Well, you got to ask why. Why isn't the drive-through moving? You can't just come in there and start screaming at the manager why isn't the drive-through moving. There could be a whole list of things going on that is out of their control. So, you know, you want to dive into a situation. You want to feel people out. You want to see where they're at. You know, their dog could have just died, or their grandmother could be in the hospital, or this or that. That's why it's important to talk to your people, learn a little bit about them, see what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, you know, and if it's relatable to business, incorporate it. If it's not, then just keep it in your knowledge bank for when you have time for open discussion. But I feel like it's important to talk to everybody, you know. When I walk in my
Now, do you
restaurants, I speak to everyone.
now do you have any type of meditation regimen that helps you through your long day, or um,
Just
you-
prayer. And one
okay?
thing that I started doing a while ago, I was looking through some different things, is reading a proverb every day. You know, there's 31 days in the month, there's 31 proverbs. So on the days there's 30, you do 30 and 31 on the same day. So today would be the second. I meditate, I pray, and then I listen to Proverbs too. And I just try to take out those nuggets of knowledge because the proverb, they're filled with knowledge. Are we back now? Okay. I don't know how much of that got cut off.
You said every day you try to read a proverb. If you can start back from there.
Yeah, every day, you know, there's 31 days in a month and there's 31 proverbs. So I try to read a proverb every day of the month and and see how it can apply to my life. And they say if you read a proverb a day, every month for 3 years straight, that you'll become wealthy. That's I don't know where I heard that from, but
Oh,
somebody
let me
told me
start
that.
reading my proverbs then,
Yeah, you
bro.
need to read them, man, because I'm not gonna
What's
lie.
today? The second? Oh, we just
Yeah.
I'll read the first two right now.
Yeah, and what's so funny about that is I don't know how true or not it is, but in my third year of doing it, I became an approved owner operator. So I can
Wow.
attest to that, you know, and I know that that
Wow.
helped my journey along the way.
Look, this is what I have. I have one of these. This is that's a money tree.
The money tree,
Yeah,
it's a
not to say
perfect
it does
place for
anything for me.
shade.
I don't know. It's just nice. It looks good. I don't think it brings me
Yeah,
anything, but you know, the spoken word is what really does bring something. So
it does. And I,
yeah.
I I guess I meditate through music. You know, my brother he didn't choose the path of McDonald's right away. But you know, he's a musician, so we connect on there, and we actually made a jingle for McDonald's. His spicy crispy chicken jingle, which the video is available on YouTube. Little Red's crispy chicken jingle. That's my promo buzz right there. But that's one way I relax too, is, you know, listening to beats and expressing myself. So
All right, y'all, let's get John Sall's YouTube hits up. Don't
yeah,
forget to go tune in.
for sure.
Um, so I really want to hear about this one because uh, I hope your mom is listed because I know she is a boss. So tell me this: who is part of your accountability team for business and professional growth?
And I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. It was mainly me, because
Mm,
and I even asked my mom about it. She definitely held me accountable, you know, because the buck stops with her. But for anybody trying to do something, nobody is going to be able to push you to do it the way you are. If you're waiting on somebody to bring you up, you may wait forever. You literally have to go get it and want it. So I really, once I decided this is something that I wanted, I put a plan together. I looked at what it would take to do it, and I started executing. And that's what you have to do. Now, I have to give credit where credit is due. You know, my mother, she is a boss. So just being her son and being able to watch a boss in motion my entire life, I know played a role in my development. But then, you know, Stephanie Becker, my field franchise business partner, she was excellent the whole process of my approval. You know, we met monthly. She kept me on my toes. She told me what they needed to see from me, and I delivered it. So, you know, you got to have people around you coaching and guiding you. But at the end of the day, whether you get it done or not is going to be on you. You cannot sit and
mhm.
blame your accountability team if you fail. You know, you have to want it. It's for you. It's not for them. Now they want to see you succeed. They want to see you win, but it's got to be on your terms. So those are a few people who
Yeah,
played major roles. And then of course, you know, my supervisor, shout out to Juwan Thomas, and shout out, you know, to my general manager, Nancy Barrios. They keep me accountable daily. You know, Nancy stays on me, whatever needs to be done, she's letting me know. So I appreciate that communication, and I appreciate everybody else within my organization, because we've got a lot of good tenured people who've been with us 15 plus years, who I look at like family, you know, who helped me rise up and gave me the tools and materials I needed. So I got to give a special shout out to Renika Payne while I'm on here, because that's the general manager at the store where I first started working as a night manager when I came back home from school. And she's a Ray Kroc Award winner, a 4 or 5 time outstanding store manager. So she runs her business well, and just being able to watch people who do things well is going to help you. You know, you do what you see. So if you got to surround yourself with the right people, and that's the most accountable thing you can do, is put the right people around you.
yeah, it's important that people understand nobody is going to have your back if they don't see you actually taking the initiative to try to do something yourself. You
Hmm.
know, only then will people identify you as somebody with potential that they choose to put their name on. And so when I even talk about an accountability team, for those that are watching, especially those that are in high school or in college, I just want people to understand um, not only your family can be part of your accountability team, but you have mentors. Mentors are those that, and they can be older or younger than you. Mentors are those that shed a lot of knowledge or share a lot of knowledge with you, um, give you tips on how to enhance your skill set, give you tips on how to grow and develop in whatever subject matter you're practicing in, whether that's professional to even personal. And then you also have to have sponsors. And what are sponsors? Sponsors are the people that talk well about you in the rooms that you can't get in yet. They bring your name in those rooms so that you can try to elevate and try to advance, because a lot of things in life happen behind closed doors and you never know when people are talking about you. And so you have to understand the importance of having a team of people built around you who can do both for you. For one, help you develop yourself, your skill set, um, your personal business acumen or what have you. And then those folks that are sponsors that are sitting in rooms that you can't even get a chair in at this point in time, that's going to bring you up in there. So always remember that, who's ever watching.
That's
Let's
definitely true. Because I know
Let
within business, we talk about people all the time. They don't know we're talking about them, but we're talking about moving them up, advancing them, putting them in a position, giving them some leadership roles. So I just want to agree with you 100% on that.
let's talk about something that can literally kill a business. Let's talk about ego. Can you tell us what role does ego play in feeling you are successful and self-aware that requires um, um, steady and personal development?
Uh, yeah, I just feel like, you have to take the, like, this just goes back to knowing the people around you, you know, and if your ego is bigger, what you know, what I got going on is no bigger than what somebody else has going on. And you always have to keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, they're worried about what they got going on. So if I come in there with my ego pumped up, acting like only what I want matters, they're not going to want to perform. Everything has to matter to everybody. I need it all to matter to you, and then what matters to you, you need to tell me so I know what matters to you, and we can have some type of exchange. Uh, Ego can definitely kill a business. You don't want to be that arrogant leader that people are smiling in your face, but as soon as you leave, they're in your pocket. So you want people to have some type of loyalty to you to a certain extent, which is hard to get, but once you get it, you cannot put a price on it. So you have to be genuine, and you have to check your ego at the door, no matter who you are, especially at McDonald's, because we're here to work as a team. I can't do it all by myself. No one can. So, that ego has to get checked at the door. I'm part of a team. And as a team, we want to be number one. Now, I don't want to be number one. I want my restaurant to be number one. I want my team to be number one. And just having that mindset of having your whole team on versus just you being on is what's going to make people want to join your team. If every time you win, only you win, that's not going to keep people motivated. Everyone has to feel some of that feeling you get from winning. So you got to make sure that's flowing through your whole organization.
Right, exactly. So let's talk about this though, because I kind of mentioned mentorship a little bit. And a question before that, what do you see the role of mentorship to be in, and what is your mentorship practice as you coach others to learn from your experiences?
I think mentorship is extremely important. I look up to all the people who are in my life at a young age, who help kind of mold and craft me and keep me steered towards the right direction, because it's easy to get carried away in the wrong things. They're all around us. They're on social media. They're on music. They're everywhere. So, my mentorship practices is I try to pour into everybody. One thing we recently started doing about 4 years ago is there's a West End School for Boys downtown. And my mother signed our organization up to mentor the boys from 6th to 8th grade. So that's something we've done the past couple of years that I found way more rewarding than I thought I would. It was something I initially had no interest in doing. I didn't feel like I was fit to mentor anybody. I was still young, fresh out of college. But, you can always steer people in the right direction, especially middle schoolers. I think they're the easiest to mold, because they're in that stage of, I want to be hip. I want to be cool. I don't know what to do. I need some direction. And you can give them that direction. You can tell them, hey, that's not the way to go. That's going to get you in trouble. So, talking to the kids and hearing their life experiences and being able to tell them about myself. And then I guess the cool thing about mentorship is your mentee really looks up to you. So that makes you feel good when you have people who are looking to you, and they want to follow your role, your lead. So many people told me, my kids even say, now I want to work at McDonald's when I get older. And other kids, I want to work at McDonald's. I want to do what you do. That makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're doing the right things. But I definitely think it's important. If you are a person of interest, or if you're a leader, or you're somebody with some influence, you have to put your hand back and give to someone else. That's the only way the system continues to work, because I would not be where I was if the people before me didn't do that. If they didn't, my mother put me in Boy Scouts, and I actually became an Eagle Scout. And my Scoutmaster is, he's one of the most solid people I know. His name is Paul Durson. And he taught me so many things, from tying knots to starting fires to first aid to safety. But the number one thing that Scouts was about was being a leader. You know, it was in the event of this happening, what do you do? You know, you got to step up. You got to make the decisions. You got to give the direction to people. And that's one thing that really stuck with me as well. And then you got your coaches in the schools. They're mentoring people daily. So
and let me add, what people don't understand is that McDonald's does a lot of outreach in the Black community. And McDonald's Black and Positively Golden Mentors program focuses on feeding and fostering the communities that we serve by elevating future leaders in pursuit of their passions. And for people who want to know more about what McDonald's does, make sure you guys check out at We Are Golden on Instagram to learn more about McDonald's commitment to the African American community through our Black and Positively Golden Mentor program. I just want to make sure to plug that so our listeners know that McDonald's is still out here.
most definitely.
Yep. So, man, I want to say thank you, John. I appreciate your time. You shared a lot of knowledge with us. You dropped a lot of keys. Um, and this was definitely worthwhile. I hope, like I said, people had their notebooks and their pens out, because for you to be as young as you are, man, you definitely have a whole wealth of knowledge built up already in your life, man. I can foresee already that success is definitely on your horizon, man. So thank you so much. And thank you to our sponsor, McDonald's. We appreciate you powering this event today. And thank you to Rolling Out as well for offering us this platform.
Well, I appreciate you having me today. I also want to say thank you to our sponsor, McDonald's. Shout out to Rolling Out and Black and Positively Golden. And if you enjoyed this, I don't need you to do anything but to reach back and mentor somebody else, and pour into somebody in your community. And you can start small and grow. You know, you don't have to do it all at once. Just don't ever give up, and don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not good enough to do it.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks.